Hey, everybody, welcome to another edition of Gruber Wired. I'm Mark Beach.
I'm John Dotson, and welcome once again.
Here we are.
We are here.
What is going on with 90 degrees in Phoenix? Not today, though. It's going back down, but...
Well, finally hit 90 for the first time this year, right?
Yeah.
Yesterday.
And, we got that out the way.
Yeah. Toss it. No, we just jumped kind of from, what we call winters, now spring, I guess you'd say. So we go summer, spring, summer.
It's great for spring training.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great
no
temperatures
clouds,
for that.
No weather. Just a little wind.
Yeah, so we'll take it. It's kind of nice.
Yeah,
this morning was really refreshing out there. So
it was beautiful.
If it stayed like that all year long, that'd be great.
And just the little secret is that, it's really only like 90 degrees for 30 seconds when the thermometer hits it, and then it starts dropping back.
Yeah, just briefly. Enough to register on the radar.
Right.
But things are going good here. Another explosive good month for us, I would say, with everything going on. It's sales have just been fantastically strong.
Yeah, we've got some great things happening, and it's exciting. We're just... I think the economy's pumping along. People are, looking at making revisions to their existing infrastructure, taking advantage of advances in technology and speed. And it's just working its way through the industry.
It is, and what comes along with that, and we're going to talk about this a little later on in the show, but we're starting to see the infrastructure kind of ramp up, right?
Yep.
Starting to see that manufacturing coming back around and building the foundation for that manufacturing and the jobs that are needed out there.
Absolutely.
So,
one thing we wanted to talk about to just kind of kick off the show was that we want to bring up our website because we've added a new custom cable quote build feature so that people can actually, anytime you could be, midnight or it could be the weekend, but you can request a quote from one of our qualified account managers.
That's correct.
On the on a cable you might need, and then it'll come through to us. We'll jump right on it, reach back out to you, contact you directly, and provide you with our best pricing.
Yeah, that's just one of the things. We're just always continuously thinking ahead and being there for the customer service side of things, and that's really where this plays in.
Right. So if we went to the copper quote section first.
You here.
Yep. Then, it's just simple. It's straightforward.
Yeah, simple questions.
Instead of having to go through a bunch of screens to find a cable on the site, you can just fill out, the form. Pick your options.
So, Cass, let's build a Cat 6 cable right now and go through this really quick. So, pick Cat 6.
Cat 6, PVC, unshielded, blue's fine, bubble boot.
Well, let's do a narrow boot because we do have options, right?
Yep.
So, go with the slim boot. And then let's pick a length. Pick any length you like there, Cass. Now, you put your numerics in for the length.
Right, and then you click feet or meters.
Yep.
There we go.
And why do we give that option? It's kind of funny that a lot of times category and cable we see people ask for in feet, where when it comes to fiber they ask for it in meters.
But it depends. Some people have scaling. Might be a European company that's doing the purchasing with a U.S. presence, but they're looking for whatever standard lengths they use. So
you bring that up to European. Can you go back up to the jacket up there and click on that and see the drop downs? So you got PVC, you got plenum, you have outdoor. Don't forget also that is available if requested is low smoke, zero halogen.
Right.
So that's something we could probably add on to that in the future.
Yep.
Yeah, we could add on anything.
So we make that adjustment, but that's in case you're running off the European standard, and that is requested. It is available.
Right. Absolutely. And so then if you want to put labels on the cable, then there you go. So one end, both ends, how many cables did you want to quote on? And then what is your need by date for in hand to you? So we have that, a nice little calendar drop down there. Beautiful.
See, that's handy.
And Jesse just did a great job on this. which we really appreciate. And I mean, that was like a 24-hour turnaround, by the way.
Yeah, Jesse, thank you very much for
Yeah.
getting in there and updating
That was
the website.
amazing. And then you fill in your contact info.
So yeah, you have your title, company,
Right, DJ.
address, DJ.
Yeah.
Look at that. There's a
Funky spins.
hello, Lisa G. Thank you for chiming in there. It says very impressive, learning a lot. Oh, we hope people do have an opportunity to learn a lot from some of our podcasts that we do.
Yeah, and we're welcome to the team, by the way, Lisa. We're glad to
Yeah.
have you there. Lisa is one of our newer SST people,
That's correct. Yeah,
which is sales support.
and doing a great job, by the way. That whole team, we just give some kudos out to the SST team.
480-555-1212.
You just make that up.
No, don't you remember 555-1212? You call that?
I don't.
Yeah, it was 555 anything, and it would ring all to the same place.
Oh, would it really?
Yep. There we
There
go.
you go,
And your
fake
email
email.
address.
And then
And-
you can say if you're an existing customer or not. You know,
Right.
let us know.
Yep. And then if for whatever reason an option isn't there, you can put in additional notes at the end there so that we understand a little bit more about what you're looking at.
And since you have the additional notes box there, this would be a good thing. If you happen to click on labels,
She likes spiders.
found another spider, did you? If you happen to click on labels, we need to know what you would like on that label as far as
Right.
the information goes. So
We probably
this
could
would
add a
be-
field for
We
that.
can add a field right underneath there, or you have the additional notes here.
Right.
So,
But it doesn't affect pricing though, right?
No, it's
So
just additional
that's kind of
information.
why I avoided putting that in the list was, rather than them having to know that information up front, when the account manager gets back with a quote, if it's a go ahead, then we find out what they
Sure.
need on the labels.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
And
So-
then I'm not a robot, and then you submit it. Did you already test submit these, Jesse? Okay.
Now that there's going
let them get it.
There we go. And submit.
Do you want me to actually submit it?
Yeah, why not? What do you got to lose?
Okay.
A team member?
Hey, we're transparent. There we go.
And it's sent. So
Thanks for your submission.
there you go. Yep.
All right. And
Look
then
at
it
that.
goes to our leads team, and they go ahead and route it to an account manager. If you're an existing customer, they'll find out what your who your account manager is, and route it there. Now let's go to the custom fiber one. We don't have to build one necessarily, but there are a couple things that I did want to show on here. All right, so on that first drop down where it's simplex, duplex, or multi-strand. So simplex and duplex are basically jumpers, but when
Yep.
you go to multi-strand, you'll notice the options change down below completely. So
Sure.
these are for multi-fiber assemblies, distribution cables, things like that. And-
Outside plant type stuff.
right? Even internally, but you can build your own exactly like you want it, and then we'll provide you a quote.
Perfect.
Yep. And you can see in the ends there too. So one of the things that's multi-strand are MPO and MTP.
Correct.
So we included that in there if you want
very
MPO, MTP cables. And because those are multi-strand, right? Even though they're jumpers, they're multi-strand jumpers. So we have those options, and then type of polish and all that, which is also on the jumper side of things, and then labels again, and hand date, quantity. I think we're
Right up there. It says polling eye. I can't stress enough when you're working with a multi-strand cable, really think about using a polling eye
Yeah.
on those cables. It will save you from damaging the connectors,
Yep.
and make it a lot easier with the pull, especially if you're dealing with conduit and some tight turns and areas like that.
right. And we do staggered breakouts, and we do the Tech Flex on the end so that it's wrapped up when you're doing the pull. Nothing gets snagged or anything like that. Everything is nice and tightly wrapped so that you can pull it through. And some people use pulling eyes on both ends because you know, if you get stuck or whatever and you need to pull it back out for any reason,
You can just
you don't want to be
go
yanking
each
on
way.
the cable. You want to use the pulling eye.
Yeah,
Right?
no, it's true. So yeah.
There we
Great. This
go.
is really good. Since we're in this as well, let's point out System 2000, right?
Sure.
So if you want to pull that up, Cass. Yeah, scroll on down.
It's on the main page. There we go.
If you scroll down, you're going to find System 2000 warranty authorized contractors. What you're going to find here is a sheet, some documentation you can fill out to become an authorized, contractor with us.
Right. And basically,
So-
we're looking for solid partners
Yep.
who are able to install our products at location, right?
Correct.
And so it's a, kind of a joint cooperative that will allow you to offer things like our lifetime warranty on products.
Correct. Yep.
And we have direct relationships then. So, there might be leads associated with it. We get people all the time who are looking for local installers, not just in Phoenix, but, around the
Sure.
country. They'll go, hey, do you know anybody that
Yeah.
can do this?
And that's an advantage of this. So if you go on here and you want to become, a contractor that works with us and partnerships with us, we'll take this information. We kind of have a bit of a vetting form here, which is to be said because we're going to be working together as a team, right? We want to know who we are together. So it's simple. Fill out the form, get the information over to us, and then you kind of come, a vetted, preferred kind of contractor with Gruber.
Right.
And we partner together.
And it's a little long, but it's worth it. Right.
Yeah. So.
Right. So, I mean, we've been in business a little over 40 years. So we just want to make sure people are who they say they are and have the experience to be able to do it because our name is on it as well as our partners.
Yeah.
And, our history is established. So we just want to know who we're dealing with. But that's the idea, is to just bring people in, be able to refer them, have them use, Gruber product. And it's a great relationship then.
Yeah, I'll
Win-win.
say probably a couple times a month I come across someone who says, hey, can you refer me to X, Y, and Z? Looking for some help in this area.
Right.
That's where this comes into play.
Right. And that's you times 10, people on the floor, right?
Yeah.
So
there's opportunity here to be able to work together. Make some
definitely.
money.
So if you're a an installer and want to get in with the program, please visit the website. It's grubercommunications.com, and then visit the System 2000 link on the left-hand menu bar.
We got somebody from TikTok saying hello there. Is it pronounced Hussein?
Hussein Ansari.
Ansari
Hello, Hussein.
2056. Hello, Hussein. Thank you for joining us. Awesome.
All right.
And just a quick side note to everybody out there, we have Cass, who is actually directing the show today behind the scenes.
She's running the board.
She's out there learning. Cass, how you enjoying this?
I am so stressed out.
Are you?
I'm so nervous.
Well, the little roach you put in her laptop didn't
I
help.
peed a little bit.
So even have
That
some
might be TMI.
So I put a little fake cockroach in her laptop, and when she came in, she had quite the surprise and jumped a little bit. You can
That
say.
was almost as good as Crystal's surprise. when
Yeah,
you
right?
Put it in the tissue box.
So, but yeah, welcome, Cass. It's nice to see you getting back there behind the board and having some fun. So,
Yes.
thank you.
Yeah,
So-
I always have fun with you guys.
No,
You
of course.
jokesters around here. There were
Yep.
spiders at one point.
Oh, we have
Today I
one
had a
right here, too.
roach.
We got spiders
Yep, we got
here
little
too.
spiders
Yep.
here, there, and everywhere.
My heart can only handle so much.
So one thing we were going to talk about first was the new Microsoft. I call it Majorana, whatever it is.
Is
I
that
don't
how
know.
it's pronounced?
Majorana.
Majorana. Not sure
Majorana.
if that's. Let's see. Hussein chime back says, "I'm an IT technician. I want a job."
Well, we don't employ IT technicians, but that's where the referral program comes in.
We have a link on our website to be able to apply for work here at Gruber.
Sure.
So feel free to go to the website and take a look and see if there's something there that interests you.
There you go.
Yeah, perfect.
I was probably thinking too literally. But yeah, so with this, and we got a picture, we put that behind us here. There we go. Microsoft announced that this new chip has the capacity, the potential capacity for 1 million qubits on there.
Insanely crazy. We were talking before the show here. This one chip has more computing power, right?
Potentially, yes.
Potentially than any other computer in the world put
Right.
together, combined, put it there, right? So this is new. It's relatively new to the industry. I don't know too much about it, but I know you do, and I know that Jesse has been talking about this. Haven't you, Jesse?
Yeah, I watched it when it came out not too long ago. Watched the Microsoft explainer video and just did a little bit of research on it. I haven't seen some of the other stuff out there, like you were talking about, some of the naysayers that aren't super supportive, but there's a lot of buzz around this thing for sure.
I mean, here's the bottom line. It's either going to work or it's not, right?
Right.
So,
It better
you
work
know,
after.
if they're rolling it out, then you gotta think that
Yeah.
there's
They're
17
confident.
years of research, too.
yeah.
They wouldn't wait 17 years to release it now if there wasn't something happening.
Right. They're not going to fool anybody.
But
So,
we're kind of seeing this innovation and technology across the board in the industry, correct?
yeah.
Weren't you saying earlier Amazon is releasing something as well?
Yeah, Amazon came out today and released their Ocelot chip, which is another quantum chip that also is very close to this chip. It's not about the scaling of qubits on the actual chip itself. Theirs is more about quantum error correction, and it's solved for more than 90% of quantum error correction, which is many orders of magnitude above what's currently available.
Yep. And so this chip, the Microsoft chip, is what they call a topological qubit.
Correct.
And so I was watching a video on this, and they said they have it's a new state of matter. So there's solid, liquid, and gaseous, and they're claiming that this is a fourth state of matter.
Well, you have plasma
Interesting.
too. Yep. So this
So
is
you got
technically the fifth, but there's also even another sixth one. But those are when you get into theoretical stuff. But
Yeah.
So that's theoretical there, but no one is up to plasma, and then this is the fifth.
Right.
And what is it called then? This fifth state?
It's the
Just
topological
topological. That is
qubits. Yeah. That's the
interesting.
well, they call it Majorana.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it's.
But is
that's
that the fifth state
that's
that they're claiming?
They say it's Majorana particles.
Interesting.
So you know, it's beyond my pay grade.
Yeah. Right.
So I have a little blurb here from Wikipedia. Take that with a grain of salt. It says, in physics, topological order of state basically describes a state of matter that arises in quantum mechanics. So this is when we get into the super
Superimposed,
small and super tiny. Yeah.
superpositioning.
Yep. This
Yep.
is a whole different. And the thing to know about the Microsoft chip too that people aren't grasping, in my opinion, is not just the scalability of the qubits. The topological state of matter, which is a quantum state of matter, was mathematically theoretical until they just proved it. So this is just like a few years ago when we had the first nuclear fusion ignition, right? And people didn't really realize. People keep saying, "Oh, it's 20 years away. It's always 20 years away." Well, no, we actually proved the math that you can put a certain amount of energy in and get more energy out, which doesn't seem physically possible. That has now been proven. Well, this is another one of those instances where super advanced theoretical mathematics is finally proven. It's not hypothesis anymore.
That's crazy.
Right. And in kind of reading about some of this and some kind of adjacent articles to this, they were talking about essentially this solving for time, which means time is more a construct than an actual thing. It's a human thing.
Yes, it's a human
we
construct.
experience time, but time doesn't really exist.
Correct.
Right? Because the example that the speaker gave was so John, have you ever experienced the future?
Only when it becomes present.
So what is that called? Now, right?
Now, yeah, the present.
Have you
the
ever
now.
experienced the past?
Of course.
No. You haven't. You only experience now. You cannot go
You've
back to a point.
experienced
You
the
but
past.
you cannot go but you can't go back.
No, you can't. Once
No.
you've passed it, there's no going back, but there's
Right.
no going forward.
So there's only now.
You're only in the
Now
state
is the
of
only
now.
thing that exists. Period. The past doesn't exist. Right?
Exists
Only-
in memory. Only in
well,
memory.
It's a construct.
Yeah.
So now is the only thing that exists to the human. And we quantify that by creating dividing lines. But the reality is there is no future. You can't move to the future. You can't move to the past and experience the past,
Yet.
period. So you can only experience now, right? And this type of technology and how it exists interdimensionally and kind of corrupts or interferes with the concept of time
Sure.
makes it, just another proof of where we're evolving to, what we're experiencing. The other theory out there, Jesse, that I'm sure you've heard is it the electrons in a particle, are they all the same electron, right?
Yeah, I've been reading some of that.
Yeah.
That is interesting.
It's
Yeah.
pretty crazy. Because they're all the same, no matter
how
the
you
particle,
position them.
no matter the type of matter, they're all the same. The
Correct.
electrons. So is it one little guy working really hard,
Yeah.
or is it a lot of
1,000.
them?
I mean, it's just
Yeah.
exactly.
So they throw that out there too. That what?
Yeah, there's
and
lots
these-
of interesting
these
theories.
little-
I mean,
it breaks my brain. When you start, but some of it, I'm not going to say any of it makes sense. I'm going to say that that's what's out there.
well, everything goes out there until you prove it to be true.
Right.
Until you solve that riddle, which is what they've done with this particular chip.
Right.
They've solved the riddle they've been working on. Now, the one thing we were talking about too in this particular chip is not for the average everyday person. You're not going to find this particular technology at home.
No, it's not going to be in your MacBook or anything like that,
exactly.
right?
It's not going to be in your vehicle.
Right.
I mean, we're talking this at a scalable and a different level.
Right. Right.
But that's going to advance us to have technology that does come into our life, in our area, in our home through this type of technology advancement.
And not to get, all biblical on everybody, but the Bible says, God is the same yesterday, today, and forever, irrespective of time. It says with God, one day is as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is as one day, right?
Correct.
So it talks about the relationship of time, period. And I think there are clues in there to that about what we are discovering now.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got a couple comments up there. Grub's Life says, "Where art thou, Jasmine?" Oh, Jasmine, oh, Jasmine. And
Jasmine
where art
was
thou,
sick today
Jasmine?
with a bad back.
Yeah, I can tell you that. And then Hussein once again says, "How can I contact you, sir?"
Wired@gruber.com.
Yep. Wired, WIRED,
At gruber.com.
at Gruber.com.
Yes.
Yep. Feel free to reach out via email. We'll be glad to help you out and answer any questions you may have.
So these are some really mind-bending.
It's beyond
things.
my scope. This is where my 2 bits come into play. I'll be
Yeah.
honest. It
You
chops
know,
me off, and I'm leveled
It's
out
the
right
third
there.
week in a row you want to go down that
I'm
road,
talking
man.
about me, buddy.
I know. I understand. I understand.
It just makes me think of the ever so famous quote by the doctor: "Time is just a weebly wobbly timey wimey." Just
Yes.
just weebly wobbly timey wimey.
That's deep. That's deep.
Deep Thoughts by Cass.
Yes.
Thank you, Cass.
We'll have a little featured section for you in next week's show.
Oh, I'll get all of the major deep thoughts,
Yes.
all the shower thoughts.
You don't. Well, yeah. I mean, what was it called? Was it Deep
I
Thoughts
think
by
it was
Jack
Deep
Handy?
Thoughts. Yeah, right?
Yeah. Okay.
I had
so
one of those earlier today. The thought came across, and it's like you're going on vacation, right? You buy new clothing. You're going someplace. You're going to get out. You're going to some place where those people have never seen you in your old clothing. So why are you buying new clothing?
right.
Makes you wonder.
so you can feel good. The other thing we wanted to just briefly cover was that there's a significant amount of investment moving onshore
Yes.
by companies to invest in U.S. manufacturing.
That's correct.
And it's pretty exciting, and it directly affects Arizona.
We have a lot going on here.
yeah.
I mean, as we all know, Taiwan semiconductors come in,
Right.
putting up all around. I mean, it's big.
And
That place is huge.
With Apple's $500 billion investment in the U.S., a good portion of that is going to TSMC because they're going to be producing chips for Apple.
Yeah.
And that's just north of here where we're at. So, it's pretty great to see that happen.
But
and they're not even finished with, what they're doing. How many plants are they up to? They're building 6 now, is it?
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Quite a few.
Right. But they're starting other buildings there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on, I was muted on my
Oh, you
mic
were
here.
muted?
Yeah, so we're still at 30-40% capacity at this big one up here, and I think they have another 3 planned, and then this one's going to triple in size.
Yeah.
Well, what amazes me and reading and even looking at information you brought here, this cuts across all industry. It just it's not affecting chip manufacturing or vehicles like Toyota.
Right.
We're talking pharmaceuticals as well.
Right. Eli
Cosmetics.
Lilly. Yeah.
I mean, there is a lot going on out there with manufacturing coming back into the United States.
Right. Well, Eli Lilly is making a $27 billion investment to onshore or reshore the stuff back to the U.S. that they're producing. So that kind of investment not only creates jobs, but it creates national security as well. When stuff is produced here as opposed to somewhere else where we have to bring it in, where that potentially could get disrupted, then it really helps our economy.
Well, it helps the economy all around. I mean, especially if we just take localized our industry, right?
Right.
All of this manufacturing coming in is using our products.
Right.
I mean, they need that infrastructure. So you're talking, they need the infrastructure that we build here. They're going to need people to install that infrastructure.
Right.
So it's just a chain effect.
Right.
With all of the business coming in.
Right.
And it's pretty cool.
I think it's great.
Yeah.
And we're only a little over a month in, almost 2 months in.
Yeah, I think
a little over a month.
We're going to see some things just take off over here, especially over the next couple of years.
Right.
You got to remember a lot of this stuff when you're moving these facilities and creating manufacturing, it's going to take time to develop. This is not overnight. We come in, we set up shop, and we're working tomorrow, and we're throwing stuff out.
Right.
It doesn't work that way.
Right.
So you're talking years and years of coming in, with the manufacturing to get it stabilized and build the foundation.
Yep.
But in the meantime, it does create a lot of work in the economy. So there's some trade-offs, but it steadily starts to improve, where
when
we're
you
at.
inject that much capital into the economy, things boom. So 2035 projected for completion. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
That's
for the Taiwan semiconductor plant.
That's just the existing plans, but there's a lot of room up there, and they call this area of the country now Silicon Desert.
Yeah,
instead of Silicon Valley. And so don't have earthquakes, don't have hurricanes, just got some heat. We can handle that.
Yeah.
So bring it.
Yeah, no, she's right. It's scheduled for completion up north there, but as we all know, it's always a moving scale.
Well, has Intel ever completed?
No, it's a constant.
Right.
And that's what we're going to see with Taiwan semiconductors. It'd be a constant in motion.
Yep.
Which is what all manufacturing is.
Yeah.
We're constantly in a motion and moving forward. And that's a great place to be. The one thing I was going to bring up briefly, because this is already starting to affect us out there, we all have heard the talk about the tariffs.
Yeah.
And some costs are going to be passed along, through
Eventually.
that chain. And so, we're going to see it. We have already started seeing some of the materials, costs being affected by that. But I just want to say to people out there, don't worry.
Right.
It will resolve itself.
It's a good time to be made in America, which all the Gruber products are. So, we do source some of the other materials, but for the most part, what we have here, all our cable assemblies, our metal products are all made in the USA. Our sourcing, our wire manufacturer, USA based.
All
We
USA
had, we
made,
had
yeah.
Steve Spoons from Quabbin on here last week, and we just feel like it's a good time to be made in America.
It is, and it's just going to reset the playing field, I think, for all of USA manufacturing out there.
Yep.
It's a good thing. This is a good, positive step.
Yep. And before we conclude here, because we're getting close on time, we did want to talk about and bring up a graphic of who we have coming up in March.
Yes.
We have a couple of guests that are going to be showing up here for our live podcast, probably via Zoom. So, you talked to John today. You talked to
did.
both of these people, actually. So you'll just let you take it and tell everybody
And really
about
briefly, John McCrae here, he works for the U.S. Veterans Administration Department. And I was talking to him today. He was working directly with President Trump and the orders that are coming down and taking place and making sure that things are continuing to run smoothly and so forth. He has actually purchased our product and uses our product in broadcast of his daughter's softball games, church events and services, and some other things going on.
So he built that rig that he's looking
did.
at right now, and he takes
Yeah.
it to softball events, tournaments, things like that, where he has his entire podcast setup basically in a case, and he just opens it up
and goes to work.
Yeah,
I mean, it's pretty
and
cool.
stream live from wherever he's at with his rig.
Yeah, and then we have Steve there is going to be in on the 27th. Again, we'll be on Zoom on that one too. Just a great guy. He's the president and CEO of the Arizona Technology Council.
Yep.
This council's been around for some time, I think since 2008, as it says right there.
2002.
Is it 2002?
It started, yep, and they merged in 2008 with some other groups that were similarly organized.
Yeah, so great guests coming on. We're trying to fill up, get some more guests, and help educate people and just get the word out there. As well as having these guests on here in March, we will be having and showing some of our talent show that we were working on here at Gruber. We got a couple people lined up that have done some work on it.
We had a couple of brave souls so far.
So that'll be a lot of fun, actually. That'll be fun to go through that, and it'll also be fun to be humiliated a little bit. And yeah.
Oh man, we admire the courage of stepping up. So, no shame in the game, that's for sure.
No. Once again, I want to just really quickly say special thank you to Cass today for running the show.
Good job.
Yes. And don't forget about the other folks behind the scene. We have Aaron and also Jesse.
Yes.
And whenever you'd like to, feel free to call out Jesse out and just ask him, Jesse,
how you doing?
How you doing today? He loves that.
Right? All right. Well, make sure you like, subscribe, and share this podcast. If you're in the industry, share it with your industry friends. We're here every Thursday at 3 p.m. Arizona time. Don't forget, a week from this Sunday, we go back to daylight savings time. So we'll be 3 hours different from the East Coast. Right now we're 2. So make sure you make your adjustments there. But for now, I'm Mark Beach.
I'm John Dotson.
Have a great day.